We learned something new, bro.
What did we learn?
So we learned that in the new Zelda game, Echoes of Wisdom, we learned that in some capacity, at some point, for some undisclosed amount of play hours, we will get to be Link.
Yeah, there was like I think it was a just game description somewhere.
It was the ESRB summary.
Yeah, and they said that, as Zelda, you have these things, and then as Link, you attack with the sword. And we're like, wait, you play as Link?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, as Zelda, you do all this cool shit. And then as Link, you have a sword and arrows. And we were like, what?
We play as Link? So this has caused some like wild speculation in terms of like, how much are we going to be playing as Link in this? Because they showed a big old trailer. They did a breakdown of the full game. Never once did they mention playing as Link.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They introduced Link in his little toy form.
They showed a little cutscene, basically.
He had his hood up. He looked freaking BA. Mm-hmm. And then they locked him away, and they were like, here's the game.
Yes.
And then we never thought about him again. We just thought he was dead and gone and buried. We thought the hero of time had fallen. He's not the hero of time. What timeline are we in?
I don't know
what timeline does this game fall in?
This is a new IP, so I don't know what timeline this falls into.
Link's Awakening, I'm pretty sure, is its own thing. Doesn't Link's Awakening like branch off the timelines, and it's just like a standalone, like, because it's
if
a dream
no
world.
spoilers here, but yeah, it's its
come
own
on,
thing.
it's Link's Awakening. It's for the Game Boy.
Okay. It was all a dream, y'all.
So but that doesn't mean that this game is in that
No,
universe.
Just because it's in the same style doesn't
Right.
mean it's in the same universe.
Okay, interesting. Now
Because Zelda was not in that game.
Right.
Zelda does not exist in Link's Awakening.
True.
But Zelda is the star of this game, so it just happens to be in the same art style. I don't think it's the same map. I think the map, looking at the overworld, it looks like the same map that's from like, what is it?
On stream, when we got this live, you immediately were like, "This is the map from Link to the Past." That's what you said.
Yes.
I don't know if you're right on that or how you knew it so fast, but that was the quote.
It looked like,
and I want it to be right.
It looked like the one. Well, Link Between Worlds reuses that map, does it not?
I don't know. I think so. I think it does.
Okay,
but that's a 3DS game, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
and to me, it looked like the exact same map.
Have you even played that game?
Link Between Worlds, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't realize you'd played that game.
I think that it reuses the same map as Link to the Past, but I could be wrong about that.
Have you ever played that game?
No.
Okay.
But I played Link Between Worlds.
Listen, it's the same map.
It seems like it's the same map.
We're doubling down on this. It's the same map. So whatever Link is in Link to the Past might be whatever Link is here.
There you go.
Because there's like the hero of time and the hero of all the other stuff. Anyway, we kind of got off topic.
No, but before we move on, we have a poll, but before we move on to that, I want to know how much do you think we're going to be playing as Link in this? What do you suspect? What's your gut reaction?
70-30 Zelda Link split.
Really?
That's what I think.
Okay.
I think you're going to mostly be Zelda. I think occasionally you're going to kick it over to Link. He's going to be in this like underworld kind of deal. Fighting baddies. And bad guys.
Part of me thinks that's what makes the most sense. And then part of me thinks that you're going to play as Link for like the first 5-10 minutes and then you'll never play as him again.
And that'd be it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I could totally see that too.
Like kind of you're going to play out the opening sequence, basically what we saw in the trailer. You know, Link trying to go rescue Zelda and then he gets drug into this weird dimension and then you're playing as Zelda. And I could see you just doing that. And maybe at the end of the game, maybe you come back and you play as Link again at the end once you get rescued. Once Zelda rescues Link, because they flip the script here.
When Zelda rescues... Because a lot of times Link rescues Zelda and then she kind of like nukes the boss. That's a thing that's happened.
That is a thing that has happened before, yes.
So maybe this time Link does that.
I could see it. They could just be totally reversing the roles here.
You know, he comes out and seals the darkness, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. I do know what you're saying.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense, too.
We'll just see. We will see. Okay, so we have a poll here where we asked, do you plan on picking up The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom? Daniel, hit us with them results.
21% said yes, ASAP as possible. 29% said yes, but probably not immediately. 17% said maybe. I ain't decided yet. And at 34%, people said no, I'm not interested in this game at all. Leave me alone.
The highest number was I'm not interested, which is a little disheartening, but still 66% of people do plan on probably playing it, at least in a maybe, but You
That was some quick math, bro.
I'm quick with the math, but
You also got it wrong. It's wait a minute. 21 plus 29 is 50. Plus 17 is 67. Plus 34 is 101.
look, they round these numbers. Okay, it's probably weird, and they're probably rounded up on one and rounded down on the other. That's all that happened, or they rounded up on both. Is what happened. That's why we got one extra number.
I'm shook.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is weird, though, that the majority says they're not going to play it. Because this game is called Legend of Zelda. It's kind of a known IP.
Yeah, I mean, if we had asked this question about, Tears of the Kingdom, which we did, I'm sure.
I think we did.
I think it would definitely be higher in terms of people going all in. But that being said, this game isn't going to appeal to everyone. One, you don't play as Link at least very much. You do play as Link a little bit at least. Who knows? You might play him as 50% of the time. Who knows? I feel like we would have heard from Nintendo if that was the case.
Yeah.
But
and in the trailers, it doesn't show that at all. It just shows you doing Zelda stuff.
Yeah.
Other than
it may
beginning.
show like a little tiny bit of you fighting
At the very beginning.
Very beginning, yeah. And
but it doesn't show anything else about Link, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I mean, this is a top-down. It's a new formula. It's not even like they're going back to the old top-down formula for Zelda. This is a new formula. It's a new game. It doesn't have Link as the main playable character. So I could get that not everyone's going to be on board. We probably have more people that are a little cautious.
Yeah.
Only going to get into it if it's like there's a bunch of hype behind it. Comes out and people are like, oh, this game's amazing.
Yeah.
I can see some people flipping.
I hope it is.
Yeah.
Where do you fall? I know where you fall. Yes,
Oh,
ASAP as possible.
100%. I'm going to play this as soon as possible. But yeah, where do you fall on this?
Yeah, I'm going to play it ASAP as possible as well. I've decided to spend, I love my Steam Deck, but I'm trying to show the Switch a little more love than I have recently in its final year.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to play this game.
Yeah, you got to play the definitely what will be the last Zelda game to come out on the Switch.
Yeah.
You can't leave that out.
No.
Especially since it's a new one. It's not like it's a remake. It's a new game. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, we have a comment here from Bobbity who says, I'm a simple man. If it says Zelda on it, I will buy it.
I hear you. You're not the only one.
No. I mean, I shouldn't say that I would buy any Zelda game because there are certain things like for example, if they put out a Switch port of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess separately, I would buy Twilight Princess. I wouldn't buy Wind Waker because I've already played Wind Waker. I have Wind Waker for Wii U, and I'm not like jonesed about replaying that game.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't played Twilight Princess. I would love to play that on Switch. So if they did that, I would probably not get Wind Waker just because there'd be no real reason to.
Maybe. I also haven't played Twilight Princess, but I love Wind Waker. I loved it when it was new, and I still love it. And
but when's the last time you played it? See,
it's been forever.
Yeah, exactly.
But if they put out a Switch remaster of it or whatever.
But what if you had just played the Wii U version?
Oh, that'd be different.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be different.
Well, I didn't just play it, but I've played it within the last few years. And it's like, I don't need to replay it anytime soon.
Right. That game is just so good.
It is a very good game.
Such a good
game. Most Zelda games are really good.
Zelda is one of those crazy franchises because I've gone on record many times live on the internet that Hyrule Field and Ocarina of Time was my first feeling of open world. Wind Waker did the same thing. I remember leaving the island on the ship and being like, I can go anywhere. And you really can't. But it feels that way. It feels like you have...
I mean, you kind of can, though.
You can, but it's not it's not as big and vast as it felt, is what I'm saying.
It feels bigger than it is because there's so much water.
That's what I'm saying. It's mostly water.
If you take out the water, it's not that big.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it just made me feel so cool, and Zelda just gotta, it tickles my heartstrings a little bit.
You could make the same argument about Sea of Thieves. It's not that big if you take out all the water, but the game feels huge because there's so much water.
There's also a lot more going on in the water in Sea of Thieves. The water is its own level in Sea of Thieves.
I mean, there's stuff that pops up in Wind Waker, if I remember correctly. There are you'll run across the occasional shark or something. I can't remember what it is. Some sort of thing will try to come at you. You can do your fishing. There's I don't know. There are flying things. I can't remember how this works because it's been a while since I played, but...
Yeah, there are things.
There are things.
But not as much as Sea of Thieves.
No, not near as much.
Also, that game was made for the GameCube.
Yes, big difference.
Not a slight.
All right. Hit us with the next comment here. The next comment, not the neck comment. This person said nothing about a neck.
For sure, Matt. Oh, for sure, Matt. Said maybe eventually, like 5+ years from now, but not a fan of the crafting system, and I don't like how they didn't call it Legend of Link. So I have 2 things to say about that. One, I've heard that it's funny.
The Legend of Link thing?
Legend of Link thing is funny.
Yes.
Because obviously you're flipping the script.
Yeah.
But they can't do that. They've kind of got a brand.
They've got a brand,
you know?
Exactly.
And the second thing is, now that it's confirmed that this is a crafting game, Randy, why are you skipping it?
Yeah, you guys know I don't like crafting games, or I don't mind it when a game has crafting elements. I don't like it when a game is like a crafting survival game. Say, like recently I played like Enshrouded, for example, or, like games like Ark or even like Minecraft. Like, I don't like it when games, their primary thing that they're about is crafting, going out and getting supplies, coming back, building things. I don't much care for that.
Yeah.
That being said, this is not that type of crafting at all. This is not at all that.
Oh.
So, and this is, in fact, from what I understand, what's going on here is you find items in the world, you will basically take their essence with your magic wand, and then you can just reproduce them. That isn't crafting.
Well, not with that attitude.
It's not crafting.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you are technically crafting something through the process, but
through the power of magic, bro.
It's not like you're going out and gathering wood and stone and you're putting them together to create, like, it's not that. That's the kind of stuff I don't care for.
Yeah, Randy, if there's a mechanic in a game where you have to rub 2 sticks together to make a fire, Randy hates that.
That is not what and I really don't mind it if a game has mild crafting elements. Like, there are tons of games, like I'm playing the Tomb Raider games right now, and you collect wood and things and you craft arrows. But it's very like minimal. Like they're like 2 ingredients and it's always just crafting arrows. Or maybe you have some scrap and you can craft bombs out of them or something. Like minimal crafting stuff, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Think like The Last of Us has minimal crafting stuff.
Yeah.
That doesn't bother me. It's when it's the main gameplay loop that I'm like, okay.
Monster Hunter World does a neat thing with their crafting. So there's a lot of crafting.
Okay.
Like there's as much crafting as you want it to be, basically. But you can set like certain things to auto craft. So if you're running through the world and you find some herbs and you pick them up, and now you have enough herbs to make potions, it automatically does that. I really like that.
Yeah, that makes it much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't, like, it gets taxing, like, crafting the same things over and over and over.
Definitely.
I mean, like, we're on the Zelda train, like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom has some crafting, and it doesn't bother me. But again, it's sort of like, there's like a threshold of like, I don't mind it, but it's not the main game. Or when it's like all in on the crafting, I'm just like, nah, not my thing.
No.
Pacific Drive is another game I played recently where it was too much crafting for me.
Right. I'm playing a lot of Project Zomboid right now.
Yeah.
And there can be a lot of crafting in that game. But there doesn't really have to be. It's like...
What caused it? Was it Minecraft? Is that what gave us all these games that are just like nothing but crafting? Like what brought this trend around?
I don't know, man. I think it might have always been here and we just didn't know it.
I didn't know. I played a ton of N64 as a kid. Never once was I crafting.
Well, I don't think we had the technology yet.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, like, what game like made it like so that like all games have crafting now? I think it had to have been Minecraft.
I don't think it was Minecraft.
You really don't?
No, Minecraft. What? I mean, it's not even. Nobody even hardly played Minecraft.
You're right there. No one played it.
So I don't know. I mean, if you played Minecraft, like, you're probably the only one. And do you think it somehow influenced video games as a whole, the genre of crafting games? Like, that seems ridiculous. Okay.
Ridiculous.
We got a comment here from Harvest Hollows, Randy.
Yes, you may read it?
Yeah.
Okay. When it gets a price drop, sure. But it doesn't look all that interesting to me.
To which I say, why not? Because I think it looks rather unique.
It definitely looks different. I mean, I think that they're introducing this system, this gameplay loop where you're replicating all these items, and there's really not a whole lot of combat. It's more like there is combat, but it's very unique because you are going to be doing things like duplicating or creating these rocks, and you throw those, or you create an enemy to fight on your behalf.
Right.
Like, it feels like it's going to be very non-traditional combat. And a lot of the things that we saw in the thing were like getting to weird areas by stacking a whole bunch of beds or something. Like, it almost feels like they're inviting you to break the game,
Yes.
to come up with your own solutions. We've seen this in Breath of the Wild, and then very much in Tears of the Kingdom. Like,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing, is like, find your own way through the game.
This feels like the 2D Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
It's kind of what it feels like.
I mean, obviously it's not the same, but it definitely feels in that same vein.
Yes. It feels like it has a very similar approach.
Yes.
You know, I mean, obviously you're playing a Zelda. You're making beds instead of logs. You know, like, you might be able to make long sticks in this game too.
Long stick, thick stick.
Log stick, thick stick. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that's in this game. I hope I can make a long stick, thick stick in the chibi style Zelda.
I don't think you'll be able to, but that would be cool. That would be a fun little reference.
Long stick, thick stick.
All right, we have another comment here about this game from Bubster, who said, I'd rather be able to purchase GameCube ports. Ooh, like maybe Nintendo is prioritizing the wrong things when it comes to Zelda on Switch.
That's what the Bubster thinks. So I just kind of included this because I wanted to ask you, what would you have preferred? Would you have rather gotten a new Zelda game where you play as Zelda, or would you have rather gotten the Wind Waker Twilight Princess ports?
Personally, I would rather see a new game because it's more exciting to me, because I can like still track down a copy and play an old game. Like, if I really want to play one of those old games, there are ways to play those games. There's going to be no way to play this game until it comes out. Like, it's a new thing. That's exciting. I'd rather be excited about something new than to be playing something old. Not that I can't get excited about playing an old game, but it's not the same type of excitement.
Well, I literally couldn't agree more. I think you're right. I would love to be able to play Wind Waker. I don't care that much about Twilight Princess just because I haven't played it, to be honest with you. And maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but I have a ton of nostalgia for Wind Waker. I'd love that to be on the system, but I'd rather get a new game, period.
100%.
Unless the game just looked like total shite, but it doesn't.
No, it looks cool. I mean, like, if they came out and it was like, this game looks super lame. Like, they've really stepped in it. They have done something wrong.
Yeah.
Luckily, it's not that way. I mean, yeah, it's definitely disappointing to some because it's a top-down. It doesn't have traditional, like, dungeons. At least we're not aware of them having traditional dungeons. It may. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's going to. It's a different formula.
Some people don't like the graphics.
Some people don't like they didn't like the way that the Link's Awakening remake looked, and that's going to translate to this because it's exactly the same.
Yeah. I think the graphics are neat, personally. I will say that when the Link's Awakening stutters occasionally, it kind of has some frame drops here and there. I would like maybe for this to not do that, but it probably will, and that's fun.
It's weird because it doesn't seem like an art style that would be that intensive on the system, but maybe it's more intensive than we think, because it is, although it's top down, it is 3D.
It is.
So you're still doing 3D environments, like everything is rendered 3D. And it's kind of like they got that toy, waxy, like plasticky aesthetic.
Yeah.
But it still is going to have some sort of demands. I don't know.
I think it's a cool look. I'm glad they reused it.
They need to get the Metroid Prime team on putting these together in terms of optimizing, because those guys know how to make a Switch game look good.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's retro, right?
Retro, yeah.
You get retro to make a Zelda game?
No, just to optimize it. Just optimize it. Like, give it to them and be like, make this work on the Switch the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, that would be cool. They'd make it happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I'm telling you what, that Metroid Prime remaster, I just played it like last week, maybe a week before I finished it, and that game is so good, and it runs so good. I never noticed a frame drop. I'm sure it was there.
Yeah, I'm sure they're there, but you don't notice small frame drops.
No.
It's only when you get consistent frame drops, or the frame rate is swinging wildly, just maybe not dropping frames, but changing, it's the tempo of the frame rate. You notice that too.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I haven't really realized how important like optimization is of a game. I've never really thought about it too hard, but recently when I've been playing those Tomb Raider games, it has really struck me how impressive a well-optimized game is compared to a non-well optimized game, because you can have games that don't look intensive but not run very well. And then on that same piece of hardware, you can have a game that looks really great and run really well.
Yeah.
And even it might even run better and even look better. And it's all about how well it's optimized. And I don't know what magic they do, but it's impressive.
Yeah, it is. Now, playing the Steam Deck all the time, like you said, will make you notice that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the Switch too. I will say I never thought about optimization until I got the Steam Deck and I started looking at all these things.
Yeah.
And now when I go back to the Switch, I notice it.
Yeah.
Early in the Switch's lifestyle cycle, I didn't notice it because I didn't think in that way.
Right.
I was only a console gamer, and I just knew that the games they sold me that said they ran on that console would run, and the way they ran was the way they ran.
Yes.
I never thought about it. But it's a new world now. And the Switch, wasn't exactly cutting-edge hardware when it dropped. Now we're 7 years later. There needs to be some pretty heavy optimization on some of these things.
Yes, there do. Definitely.